this video, we'll review some options for identifying changes in the language of federal regulations. You may be looking at proposed or recent changes to try to assess how they will affect your business or a client. Or you may be trying to identify what the law required at a specific point in the past and how that compares to the current regulations. As an example, we're going to work with the EPA underground storage tank regulations, which were significantly changed in 2015. I'm on the website govinfo.gov, and in this particular case we have a citation, so I'm going to use the citation search feature. And we're searching for content from the Federal Register from 2015, and the page number reference is 41623. Okay, so this has opened up the Federal Register to page 41623, and you can see that this is actually the 59th page of a 119-page PDF file. The page that we open to is where the regulations are actually printed, and all of the information above this is the preamble to the regulation. So first, looking at this version of it, reading all of the background information in the preamble is going to give you a good sense of what the changes are. However, if what you're really looking for is a more direct comparison, wanting to see the specific words that are being added and what words are being deleted, you would need to compare the language in the Federal Register regulations to the language in the then current version of the CFR. This can be pretty cumbersome. One good research tip in general is to see if someone has already done some of the work for you. And to this end, you might be able to get a redline version from the agency. So we're going to go to the EPA site, and there are a couple of ways we could do that. We could use the A to Z index of U.S. government departments and agencies at usa.gov, or frankly, we could just do a Google search for EPA. Once we get to the EPA site, we are just going to put in the search term underground storage tanks, and we get a page of results. One thing that's very nice is the top result we get is something that gives a definition and provides a little bit of context. But then you notice the very next result we get is what appears to be a portal page or a content page that's all about underground storage tanks. So when we open that up, there's a lot of information on the page. This slideshow up here has a very interesting first slide that talks specifically about the 2015 revised underground storage tank regulations, including a link to read more about the revised regulations. So we're going to click on that. And that brings us to a page that is completely about the revised regulations. You can see we've got our legal authorities on the side, including some links that you could directly click into the Code of Federal Regulations. We've got an effective date, and we've got all kinds of additional information, including this redline strikeout version of the regulations. Now, note at the top, it says that this is for comparison purposes only. It gives you a date as of when it's current, but it makes it very easy to see exactly the changes that were made. Now, you're not always going to be so lucky as to get a whole portal with this kind of information. And if that's the case, what you might want to do is just contact the agency directly to see if they happen to have prepared a redline version. So at the bottom of this page, we've got contact information for the specific person you can contact about these regulations, as well as contact information for the general section at the EPA dealing with underground storage tanks. But if they don't have a page like this, remember, back in our Federal Register section, at the top here, they've got for further information contact, and you note it's the same contact information. That was a very quick introduction to trying to find a redline version of the regulations. Thank you very much for watching.